Our guest says the former president's arrest and Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment may likely define this electoral cycle. With us now for more is Aries Arugay, visiting senior fellow and coordinator, Philippine Studies Programme at the ISEAS Yusof Ishak Institute. So good to see you, Aries. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
Yeah, like you say, and the markets and economists would agree with you, it's an election year. So typically a good year for the economy. But how might Duterte's arrest now possibly define this electoral cycle?
Right. The arrest seems to be on track to becoming a key electoral issue. Prior to yesterday, it seems like it is the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte that will be the critical, if not one of the critical, if not the critical issue for the elections. But now that has been, I think, superseded by the possible political consequences of Duterte's ICC arrest. While the markets, as I've said, are optimistic given that it's an election year and there seems to be more spending and there's a lot of money going around because of consumption and spending during elections. I think the ICC arrest could possibly heighten political risk a little bit. We still have yet to see whether the repercussions will spill over to political instability. But I think so far, the government in power right now seem to be monitoring developments and will try to reduce and mitigate political risk as much as it can.
And that political risk won't mean a sour business sentiment as it already is because of the global political uncertainty because of Trump. But before this took place, Aris, both President Marcos and Duterte had been trading barbs on the campaign trail. So how does the game change now? Because it's no longer just ballots on May 12th and Sara's impeachment, but Duterte's arrest.
Yes, definitely, because supposed to be the midterm elections is an informal political referendum on the popularity and acceptance of the government of the day, which is the Marcos Jr. administration. But I think given the arrest of Duterte, a lot will be monitoring to what extent government could be focused on achieving its proposed economic agenda. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done in realizing the campaign promises of Marcos Jr., who posed himself as an economic manager and one that will lead the country to middle income, if not upper middle income status. So the politics that seem to be defining the news cycle right now, I think needs to be reduced and mitigated in order for the country to be more focused on getting some work done. So I really think that all this political drama needs to be decreased a little bit, and that because there's a lot of homework that still needs to be finished.
As for the Philippine markets, they have been undeterred. The markets did fall for the first in 7 sessions yesterday, but not because of Duterte's arrest, but because of the growing recession fears in the U.S. as Trump carries on with his tariff threats. Japheth Tantiangco, PhilStock's Financial, just told us there are no significant effects seen on the economy or its outlook unless, and he nuances this by saying, unless it results in a prolonged and escalated political turmoil. So what are the chances of a prolonged and escalated political turmoil? What would be the catalyst for that?
Right. Kathy, the last time a popular former president got arrested, which was former President Joseph Estrada, it resulted in People Power 3. It resulted with what I call a lost decade for Philippine democracy from 2001 to 2010. We really didn't move the needle in terms of political stability and economic development. So I do think that that prospect is still there, given that the Duterte still has a lot of following, a lot of support. We see this in social media. There's already some groundswell of popular mobilization in Davao that could reverberate to other urban centers of the country, including Manila. We'll have to see because we've been there, and it's going to be quite unfortunate if we keep on repeating history and instead of, getting politics correct so that our economic would also be on the right track.
Well, more moving parts to watch then for the markets. Thank you so much, Professor Aris Arugay of ICAS Yusof Ishak Institute, joining us from Manila.